Hello, once again, this is FDM Learn, and we are going to another lecture right now to talk about the chemicals, the materials, and the layers that makes up a 3D floor. Now, I would have you look over here where my mouse pointer is right now. That's a cross section of a 3D custom floor. You have the base or the treated base, which is the substrate. It could range from anything from tiles to concrete surface or anything that meets a suitable base, like I discussed with you in the lecture, in a separate lecture, talking about a suitable substrate or a suitable base. Then you have the primer, that's the primer layer. Afterwards, you have the mid coat layer. Afterwards, you have the 3D image, that's the veneer layer that carries the 3D image you want. Then you have the transparent top coat layer. The transparent top coat layer is the layer that protects the 3D image, the SAV, from peeling, scratching, or getting any form of discoloration. Once it has been sealed, it's been sealed. So that's the cross section of a 3D custom floor. For the primer layer, you need this product here, this chemical here called the PRM100. The PRM100 is a specially formulated chemical for lifetime bonds, can be used mostly in tropical climates, can also be used in other climates as well. We now have the IMC 200 chemical. As you notice, they all have a component A and component B. They are two component materials. Then you have the IMC 200 component A, component B. It's for the break resistant floor, and it's another layer. After that, you have the 3D image, which is the vinyl we talked about earlier on how to get it and how to make it this image. You don't need to know how to draw any of that to be able to do this. And then after the 3D image, you have the FSC 900. That's this FSC 900 now is the shiny scratch proof layer that keeps something like a liquid glass over the 3D image to make it non-fading and makes it scratch proof. It protects the 3D image from getting any form of deformity, scratches, and what have you on it. You protect it with the FSC 900 chemical. So basically, this is the cross section of a 3D floor, and you basically need three chemicals to make the 3D floor. You need the PRM100, you need the IMC 200, and you need the FSC 900. Those are the three chemicals you need. You need the 3D image. The 3D image is responsible for the graphic looks you see on the 3D floor. That's basically your cross section of the 3D floor chemicals. Cross section of the 3D floor and the chemicals you require in order to make them. They are all in liquid form. They are self-leveling materials. Once you apply them, they level on their own to give a flat surface, and they are used independently. You have an interval of a minimum of 12 hours before the next layer. That's, for example, after you finish priming with the PRM100, you wait 12 hours, you do the mid coat with the IMC 200, you wait 12 hours, you install your 3D image. Then immediately after installing the 3D image, you install the transparent top coat. We'll talk about how to install them, how to mix them in the next lectures. But basically, these are the chemicals and materials that you will require in order to make your 3D floor. Now, this is the PRM100. This is the PRM100 by Panicrete. It's a double component material for priming and bonding. The PRM100 has a mixed ratio of 4 to 1. The larger component, which is the component A, you need 4 of it to mix with 1 of component B, 1 measure of component B. For example, if you are using a 1 liter bucket to measure, it means you are going to take 4 liters of component A. You're going to measure 4 of the component A to use with 1 of the component B of the PRM100. You mix them together, then you apply them. Next is the IMC 200. The IMC 200 is always mixed with quartz sand or marble dust. Whichever one you can easily source for around you, we could use. It's responsible for the strength in your 3D custom floors. This also has a mixed ratio of 4 to 1. That's for every 4 of component A, you measure out 1 of component B. If you mix 4 measures, 4 containers of component A, you use that same container to measure out one component, one measure of the component B of the IMC 200. Then you add a little bit of quartz, just a little bit of it, to quartz sand, just a little bit, probably like 10, sorry, like 2 kg of the quartz sand, and you mix it all together. It's very important that you mix your components thoroughly before you commence any form of installation. You must mix them very well. Then you have the FSC 900. The FSC 900, also known as liquid glass, you use that to protect the vinyl. After you finish installing the IMC 200, you place a vinyl over 12 hours after it has dried. After you install the IMC 200, 12 hours later, you bring your 3D image and you place over the floor. Immediately after placing your 3D image over the entire floor surface area, you mix your FSC 900. The FSC 900 has a different mix ratio. The mix ratio of the FSC 900 is 2 to 1. Please note, it is not 4 to 1 in this case, it is 2 to 1. That's for every 2 liters or every 2 measure of component A, you add 1 measure or 1 liter of component B. You mix it together, then you spread it over the floor. You apply the PRM 100 with a paint roller. You apply the IMC 200 with a trowel. A trowel is what you use in applying the IMC 200 because it is like a screening material. You use it to screen over the floor. You can now apply the FSC 900 chemical with either a paint roller or a screed material, whichever, or a screed trowel, plastering trowel or a screening trowel, whichever one works for you. You use to spread the FSC 900. When spreading the FSC 900, you don't need to wear a spike shoe, you need to wear a pair of clean socks. We'll get to all that now later on in the course of this lecture, but right now I just want you to understand the chemicals and we will be using in making our 3D custom floors. There's 3 of them. There's the PRM 100, there's the IMC 200, and there's the FSC 900. The FSC 900, also known as liquid glass, is a very common material because it's also used to polish tiles and to seal or polish any other surface you want to remain shiny and maintain the same look over the years. They are scratch proof and they are for protection. So that's the chemicals or the chemicals and materials we use in making the 3D custom floor surface. We'll see and talk more about it in the next lectures as we go on. So here are the basic materials used in making a 3D custom for the chemicals and the materials.